So I saw this article today. It's 5 players to watch during Bengals OTAs. I'm gonna send this here to also training camp, as training camp is right on the horizon. So with that being said, let me think about top 5 players I would do before we get into the article and what they say. I haven't seen the article yet. I just seen the title. Number 1 is Dax Hill, right? That's not even a question, especially during training camp and during all these, different activities. To see him go from safety to the cornerback position is going to be very, very important. That's number 1. To see how he can transition, rotation, take different snaps and be able to, play still at a high level at a position he really doesn't know too much about. Number 2 is obviously Amarius Mims, right? First round draft pick. You got a big name here, a guy that we're going to see if he can blossom to eventually become our franchise right tackle. Obviously, it will be a year or so before that happens. But that's a solid number 2 to kind of see how he develops. Number 3, Tanner McLaughlin. Nah. I mean, I'm interested to see him, but I wanted to put him in my top 5. I guess Jermaine Burton. But then even then, I mean, how good can a receiver look in training camp and OTAs? You're running routes, getting open, catching the football. Okay, I'm going to say Myles Murphy is my number 3. To see how he develops, see how he blossoms, see how much better he looks in year 2 than year 1. That's my number 3 guy. My number 4 guy is going to be DJ Turner. I want to see how he looks in his sophomore year and how he's, getting better at coverage, getting better in run support, getting better at just overall playing football. And number 5, Von Bell. And it's not because Von Bell needs to prove anything. I just like the fact he's back. That's pretty much it. I just love the fact he's back. So I want to see him communicating. Also, there is a level of teaching the young secondary how to communicate better, how to play at a high level, how to kind of read offenses a little bit better, and, kind of go through their progressions when it comes as defensive players. So it's kind of like the icing on the cake. The thing that kind of brings everything together, and that's Von Bell. So what players do they say? Dax Hill, cornerback. Makes sense. Von Bell, okay. Amarius Mims, Jermaine Burton. Okay, what? I really didn't read this article beforehand. I just came up with those 5 players. So now I gotta come up with 5 other players, though. I didn't think it was going to be the same players I listed. I thought they were going to go a different direction. So let's go a different direction then. All right, 5 players listed that aren't on this list that I would say to watch during training camp. Number 1, Cordell Volson. Cordell Volson's a huge name to watch during training camp. To see how he looks, to see if he maybe potentially might lose the job to Matt Lee. Cough, cough, best offensive lineman right now from that draft. I'm just kidding. I love Amarius Mims. But Matt Lee definitely looks like he could be a really great player. So how does Cordell Volson look, though? Because we're probably going to bring in another veteran or 2. We also have Matt Lee. We also have Cody Ford. We also have Jackson Kirkland. It's a 90-man roster. There's a lot of guys competing for that left guard job. How does Cordell Volson look? That's number 1. Number 2, I would say, put in Tanner McLaughlin. He's a slot receiver / slot tight end. How is he going to look in that slot position? Are we going to be able to rely on him? Is he going to even make the 53-man roster, right? That's a guy right now on that bubble where it's like we say he's not going to make it, but there's a good chance he could make it. So that's number 2. Number 3, I would say, is Josh Newton. How is Josh Newton progressing to the NFL? Now, Josh Newton is an outside corner, so is he going to take over for DJ Turner if he starts looking really good? Or is DJ Turner going to take a step forward and really start to blossom in his second year? Number 4, I will say to watch for, I would say Chase Brown. Chase Brown, mainly because I want to see how much they utilize him in training camp. We already know Chase Brown's great, right? We already know Chase Brown's going to be amazing. Obviously, Joe Mixon is gone. They replaced him with Zach Moss. Really isn't a replacement, if we're being honest. It's very hard to replace one amazing player with another amazing player at the end of the day because they're good at separate things by themselves, right? It's not like you have the same exact running back clone twice and then you're replacing it. You're replacing one guy who has some skill set that's really good and another guy who has other skill sets that are really good. So it's kind of like a, 1-2 punch here. Chase Brown, number 2. Oh, sorry, number 4. Number 5. See, I would say Jordan Battle. Just to see how he blossoms in his sophomore year. There's a lot of young guys. I mean, it's amazing when you really look at our defense and how young our defense truly is. But sophomore year for DJ Turner, sophomore year for Myles Murphy, sophomore year for Jordan Battle. Dax Hill in his first year at corner. There's a lot of different, situations going on here. But Cordell Volson, though, that's definitely a huge thing because we got to figure that out. We got to figure that out in training camp and preseason, and we can't go to the season. If Cordell Volson's not the guy, we have to get the guy, okay? That's just how it works here. But tell me down below your thoughts and opinions. I'll see you guys next one.